Nation, what's up? Welcome to Prepper Nation. I am John. Thank you very much for watching and listening. No matter how you're doing it, whether you're brand new, whether you are what we call a usual suspect, somebody that's been here for a while, son. And also a special thank you to the War Daddies because we've already had this conversation yesterday, kind of, sort of. And I'm going to be leaning on some of their comments and thoughts on this as we tackle cancel culture this morning. And I wish I would have known how chilly a basement bunker is before I would have set everything up and kind of opened up shop down here, to be honest. But it is what it is. Getting cold, son. Let's talk about cancel culture. So I watched a video, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to link this video down in the video description below this morning. It was an interview. Maybe some of you have seen it. Tucker Carlson, Kid Rock, right? And they were talking about cancel culture. As many of you know, Kid Rock got upset with Bud Light, took a rifle. Y'all get the whole 9 yards on that. And recently, he's kind of warmed back up to Bud Light. And this is why Tucker had him on, his show, and they did an interview on it and stuff like this. And Kid Rock is saying, basically, again, I'll link to it, but I'm paraphrasing here. He's saying cancel culture is yesterday. You know, Americans are moving past cancel culture. He's saying that he believes the extreme left and the extreme right demand cancel culture. But most Americans just don't care. They're not that politicized and they're sick of hearing about it. They're sick of the idea of cancel culture in general. And when I heard him say this, I'm like, man, I've never met this guy, but he's talking about me because honestly, I'm sick to death of cancel culture. I really am. I think, and I've said this in the past, that there is power and influence in the money that you spend. And you can make a statement if enough people come together. We were talking yesterday, the War Daddies and I, about Disney. Disney has lost a ton of money. This is not by mistake. And now they realize the error of their ways, and they're like, we're getting out of the political debate and we're getting back to being an entertainment company. I would dispute that. Not very entertaining over the last few years, but I digress. The point is, and what we were talking about yesterday, can a company uh, that has previously been canceled or somebody in general, can they make amends to the point where other Americans are willing to go back and support this company? Or maybe not even Americans, maybe people outside the country, are they willing to go back? And most of the chat yesterday was okay with that idea. Some comments came in after the fact, however, some of the war daddies in the replay crowd that said, no, never going back. One person in particular, ma'am, you know who you are, said if that were the case, I'd be wearing Nikes and watching NFL football right now. So I understand that side of the argument as well. But what I was telling the war daddies yesterday, and the reason that I really don't care for cancel culture, one of the few reasons, it's kind of this group think mentality. And I brought up Twitter specifically because hashtags are always trending on X or Twitter, whatever it's called now. I don't know. I think Twitter got canceled, right? Anyway, you go over there and somebody will have a bad shopping experience, or they'll see an interview they don't like, or they'll see a commercial they don't like, or the cashier said something to them. So now let's cancel this entire company. And it'll be trending on Twitter. And it just feels like a group think mentality. Everybody's jumping on board. They're canceling. Halftime, they don't even know why. They don't know all of the details. Hey, this person is on social media and they've got a huge reach and they're conservative and they're canceling this company. So I need to cancel them too. And vice versa. Liberals use the cancel culture. We know this, right? And I'll admit, I've been guilty of this. I'm going to bring up a business to use as an example. Black Rifle Coffee. For a long time, I was totally against this company. And as I was explaining to the war daddy, sorry about that, Red Dog, I used him as an example yesterday. I said, the New York Times did an interview with Black Rifle Coffee, the company, and I think a lot of things were taken out of context. And the way I explained it yesterday, I said, Red Dog, who was at the top of the chat at the time, I said, he's conservative, but he could probably sit down with the New York Times and they could misconstrue his words and make him sound like he's a liberal, or make him sound anti-American or something like this. So maybe I was a little too quick to cancel Black Rifle Coffee. And maybe this happens with other companies as well and other people out there. Because when you stop and you think about it, every business has flaws. I'm big on shopping local, shopping Main Street, downtown Mayberry for the y'all that don't know. I'm in the actual Mayberry. But even these businesses have flaws. We have a lady, for example, we have a lady named Angel on Main Street. She sells cakes, she sells pies, she's like locally notorious. She has the best pies that you'll ever eat in your life. She has a huge farm, you can go visit the whole 9 yards. But I'm 99.99% sure that she's a liberal, that she's a raging liberal, just based on some of the signage I've seen in her store. I still go there. My wife still goes there. We don't hold that against her. That's her beliefs, and I believe in her right to believe whatever. Um, she's a small business owner, and I guarantee you, every single business up and down both sides of that street, the owners have flaws, right? Floyd's grandson or great grandson, he still can't cut hair. Just say it. Tell him that if you ever go in there, you can't cut hair, son. But canceling companies should be an individual choice, I think. So rather than going into a business and seeing a sign that offends me and me jumping on Twitter and saying, "Hey, everybody, we need to cancel this lady on Main Street," or my local Facebook page or something because I'm offended by that sign. I'll get over it. And I need to get over being offended. Right? We ask the same side, the other side of the aisle to do the same thing. Get over it. When you're offended, nothing actually happens, life goes on, right? So, I don't dwell on it. You know what I'm saying? Every business has flaws, and it should be an individual choice who we're boycotting and who we're not boycotting. And as it was pointed out yesterday in chat, you guys know what ESG is, right? A lot of people do in 2023. There's a list of hundreds of mainstream businesses, national chains and things, everything from banks to retail stores to restaurants. It's almost impossible to boycott them all because by boycotting them all, you're living in a bubble as though you were Amish at some point. You're just eliminating places where you can shop and spend your money. As it was pointed out yesterday also, it's almost impossible in 2023, and I agree with this, to boycott Walmart and Amazon. If you eliminate Walmart and you eliminate Amazon, you're eliminating certain things because you no longer have access to certain things. To do what? To prove a point? Walmart's not going to get my $22 this time around. Yeah, there's stuff at Walmart that I don't like that I see on the shelves. But again, I can go to other places and point out stuff I don't like either. I mean, it just, as Katrinka said yesterday, it feels like self-punishment at some point. Canceling different companies, it just makes your life so hard. Maybe that's the point of VSG. I don't really know. Y'all let me know in the comments if you think it is, but it was an excellent comment because it does feel like self-punishment. I was telling him I was chatting with the creator a while back behind the scenes, and he was boycotting Tractor Supply Company. And he was like, "Man, I've got to drive over an hour now to get what I need, and I'm driving right past Tractor Supply. It's like 5 minutes from my house." Self-punishment, you know? Yeah, Tractor Supply is not getting his money, but he's losing money by making such a long trip. And in this economy, I think economics matter. In Biden's America, I mean, let's be honest, cheaper matters right now. We're always talking about how we're up against it, how food inflation has went up, the pain at the pump, all of this other stuff. So If there's a company like Walmart and they're offering something that's substantially cheaper than a business on Main Street, it kind of puts you in a pickle, as we say here in the South. It causes a dilemma because what do you do at that point? You don't want to support a company that's on board with ESG, but you really don't have a lot of extra income to maybe shop local. Maybe it's on that local shop owner to try and drive the price down somehow. You know what I mean? So there are two sides of it. And also, let me just say this, it feels like with all of the boycotts now, I don't drink, guys, so I don't really care about Bud Light. I'm not supporting them anyway. And I told the folks yesterday, I don't go to Target. I was boycotting them before boycotting them was cool because I just don't like the vibe in there. But it's a personal choice. I haven't jumped on a hashtag train or anything like that. But it feels like another way of dividing the American people. When you get right down to it, we've got so much division in this country right now. And to Kid Rock's point, the extreme left and the extreme right are shouting. He said, I think in the interview, I'm not quoting or anything, but he said they're the loudest and they're the most obnoxious. And because of this, they get the most coverage, right? But 90% of Americans really don't care one way or the other. I don't care what the political affiliation of somebody at a local restaurant is. Is the food good? Can I afford to eat there? Is the service excellent? Does my wife want to go there? Because women can never make their mind up. But again, I digress. We should be coming together. We should be finding a way that the 90%, because again, the two extremes, they're never coming together. And that's okay. But the rest of the country, I feel like, especially 2024 rolling up on us, we need to find a way to come together if it's possible. We need to find some common ground. We need to start getting along as Americans and stop finding ways to further divide us, politically or otherwise, because we've got enough division already. Look, man, this just plays into the globalist hands. When you get right down to it, getting back to the ESG scores for a second, okay? I'm not spending bukus of money out here because I don't have bukus of money. I'm a regular guy. I'm a regular folk, just like most people watching this. So the billionaires in Switzerland, they don't care if I'm boycotting Tractor Supply and I'm not spending $22 there. They don't care. To them, it's actually advantageous because now I'm divided. Now I'm cutting myself off even further from the rest of the United States. That side, the left wing. We say it all the time here in the community. Left wing, right wing, same bird. Well, can we come together? Can we meet in the middle? Can we get on the backbone of the bird, son, for a little while so we can focus on the real threats to our democracy? All right. Can we get to the point, pray that we can in 2024, where we're ignoring this 5% who are shouting. We're ignoring this 5% who are shouting and they're like babies. You need to do this because I'm doing this. Can we please come together and just be Americans in 2024? I think we're going to need some solidarity because the poop storms are coming in 2024. I'm just saying. But anyway, what are your thoughts? Cannot wait to see your comments and your thoughts on this. Is Kid Rock right? Is America moving beyond cancel culture? And this is just going to be a part of history, a sad part of history, I might add. Or is it here to stay? Y'all let me know in the comments. Take care. God bless.